everyone, and welcome to another episode of BS Drunk Movie Reviews. This is a weekly podcast, and we do upload the video version to our YouTube channel, so you can check that out to see my fabulous face and my co-host too. Speaking of my co-host, I'm Vetta, and my co-host is my little brother Matt.
Hi, you guys. I'm better looking
And
than you.
no. Well, we kind of look alike, kind of, sort of. This month's theme is graduation slash senior year. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about the movie Accepted.
Accepted. Woo, woo, woo.
Woo! All right. So before we get started and dive into this movie, Matt, what are you drinking?
I went lazy and I just popped open some wine. So I'm drinking a nice blush wine or whatever. It's yeah, that's what I'm drinking.
It's a starter wine for college girls.
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure. I went lazy. I was gonna get beer, but then I was like, I don't care. I have this in my house. So that's my story.
So I made a lava flow, which is what
Nice.
Glenn makes when he's at the tiki bar, and he calls Barnaby when what's the chick's name? Blake Lively's character. I can't remember all of a sudden. When he calls her, after they pick up the drinks, and he's
Excuse
like,
me,
and
Monica.
Monica. He calls and he's like, how do you like your drink? And they're like, it's good. And he's like, well, how does she like her drink? So
Right
I
on.
made the lava flow.
Yeah. Can I say something real quick? I
Yeah.
wrote down in my notes, who names their kid Bartleby? Like, I just like, there's a show that my children watch where there's a cat creature named Bartleby. And I was like, I feel like their parents didn't love them. Their name
Yeah.
is Bartleby.
Yeah.
So I
I
wrote
don't
that
know.
down.
And his sister's name is like Lizzie or something. Like
Yeah, like
she
she's
has
got
a
a no.
normal
Yeah,
name.
exactly. I thought the same thing. I was like, your parents just don't love you
Yeah.
anymore, like,
Which you
or at
totally get
all.
through this whole
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
All right. So had you seen Accepted before?
No, this was my first time, like a
Nice.
virgin. Yeah.
I had seen it before. I do like this movie. So, a quick synopsis. This is a movie about a young man who is graduating from high school. He gets accepted to no colleges. Every
No
college he
college.
applies to, he gets denied. So he realizes a couple of his friends. One loses his football scholarship because of a knee injury, which I feel is fake because they heal pretty fast, and I don't necessarily think they'd pull it right away. Another one who was like valedictorian, only applied to Yale, who does that and didn't get in. And then Glenn, who is one of my favorites, who's just didn't realize that if you just spell your name right on the SAT, you get like 600 points because he got a 0. They decide to make a fake college, which
Yes.
is genius in my mind because granted, the tuition they charged is a little low. So they make up a fake
Right.
website, a fake acceptance letter, all this jazz, and it's $20,000 a year, $10,000 per semester, and they rent an old psych or a sane asylum to use, and they remodel the fucker quick. So
Except for the bathroom.
except the well, it was scary. I don't blame them.
Mm-hmm.
And then as the story goes on, the school actually starts to develop into a real college because on their website they said acceptance is one click away, and a bunch of kids applied and got accepted and show up at the school. And in the end, they go in front of the state board to get accreditation for the college to make it a real thing because another school is challenging them because they want to use the property this nut house sat on to make a gateway to Harmon College. Oh, and can I say, I would have applied to South Harmon Institute of Technology just because your mascot is the shit sandwiches.
Okay.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Wow, that was to summarize. Anyways.
The movie in the beginning, at least me, I felt really bad for Barnaby. He didn't seem like an idiot. I loved the opening sequence. I'm going to talk about it. Normally I wouldn't talk about, but the opening sequences, they're using a classroom in high school and they're making fake IDs.
Right on. Yeah, I thought that was fun. It was just a little unrealistic, but it was fun. It was fine.
Totally unrealistic, but
Everything in this movie.
oh, this
is
movie's
unrealistic, but at the same
so
time, I'm like, that's the point of it. It's fine. It's fine.
yes.
I like
It's
I sat down. I was like, all right, we're diving into the craziness. I'm on board. Let's see how this works.
yeah. So my favorite part of that opening sequence is when the principal walks in and they realize that this is the room that the principal uses in this lunch hour to masturbate.
Yeah, I
And
did
they
write that. Go ahead,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No,
No, no,
you
go
go. I did write down. I was like, I said I totally connect with jerking off to magazines.
ahead. That's
Like, I mean, I know you're not a guy, but like for someone of us older people and everything, there wasn't Pornhub when we were younger, so you had to get what you know. So I mean, like, I used to jerk off to like JC Penney girdle ads and
right. I
everything.
was
So
just gonna say
like
Sears
you get
catalog
that big, yeah, you
and
get that big,
apparel.
yeah, you get that big thick ad, and you're like, you jerk off onto the pages and you close it, and you're just like, well, I guess I got to throw this thing away now. So.
Because when we were younger, if you went into like a 7-Eleven or a convenience store, they
Yeah.
had a whole section and they had like that solid black
Black
sleeve
that
around
they
it
yeah they
where all you
did
could see was the title. So
yeah
it'd say like Playboy and it'd be in the solid black sleeve.
yeah
And if
that's
you dare
exactly
touched them, the worker would be like 18 or older.
yeah exactly that's
Like they were
exactly
more concerned about the pornos than they were the alcohol.
that is so true. That is, you don't even know how true that is. Kids these days don't know how good
No,
they have at
no,
those
they don't know
fuckers.
how much you had to work for
Yeah,
porn back
yeah,
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. Like I remember finding a porno mag like in the woods, and I was like, "Oh my god, I've struck gold!" You know,
It's like winning
you're
the
all fucking
lottery.
Davy Jones in the middle of the forest and
They
everything.
don't understand, like, you would quote unquote, accidentally
You're right.
record a movie at 3 a.m. on Skinamax.
Listen, you have no idea how true you are on this shit. And kids these days do not understand, but it's fine.
No.
I
So,
also real quick, no, go ahead and
no,
go ahead.
no, go for it.
No, go ahead. No.
No, so I loved the toupee on the teacher as well. It was
Mhm.
amazing. It
Yeah.
was so awesome. And they pretend to be the Glee Club. And when the
Oh
teacher
yeah,
said,
yeah. With tone. Like I was doing that thing. I do this thing with my eye whenever anybody's singing badly, I just like twitch it. I'm like, like this is bad. Go ahead.
and, and the principal goes, I can't wait for you to graduate. And I'm like, oh, there's some stories there.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
Can I say one other thing about the opening sequence? When they're walking out of school in that same sequence, they're leaving school, it's the end of the day or whatever, it skips forward. And
Yeah,
that one kid comes running out yelling, I
right.
got into Princeton. Um,
And he like throws his
that's
papers in the air and he's like,
dude, it's a little late for that. Isn't decision day like May 1st? Like you have to put in
right.
your decision on May
Yeah.
1st, and he's graduating and saying, was he waitlisted or something? I don't know
Yeah.
how all
I
that
don't know.
works.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, he was retarded. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like maybe his parents held off that letter and everything. But yeah, no. Also, I like I know this is I'm jumping a tiny bit forward because
Yeah,
this is
go for it.
past the opening sequence. So first off, he said that he applied to Ohio State, and I was like, I wrote down, ew, who wants to go to Ohio State?
That's
Ew.
that's because we grew up in Michigan, and
That is so true.
I have learned that if you're from Michigan, the only good thing from Ohio is Cedar Point, and that's only when you're in middle school and stuff, and you get to go on class trips. Otherwise, Ohio sucks to Michiganders.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we hate Ohio State. It's like crazy. Like, I don't understand the rivalry, but we just do. We just hate
Yeah,
them, which I'm
we're just
totally on board.
yeah. Even if you like have no idea what the rivalry is about, somebody says Ohio, and you're like, ew,
Yeah, you're
gross.
like, ew, no, thank you. I'm just
Yeah.
like, yeah, like I think I just vomited in my mouth.
Yeah, my daughter said one of her friends, she's like, oh yeah, she's going to Ohio State. And I went, ew, gross.
Yeah, gross. She's not,
I was
yeah,
like,
don't talk to her.
yeah, I was like, you can't visit her.
Yeah, you can't be friends anymore. She's gross.
And
So
she goes, why? And I was like, it's Ohio.
yeah, which I did write down. Everyone in this movie is obsessed with college. Like I'm all like, listen, don't get me wrong. I'm all for like if you want to be an engineer, go to college because you kind of need that shit. But I'm like, why you're all obsessed with college? Like plumbers don't need college. Like, calm it down. You guys need to calm it down.
Oh God. And the parents, it is, but it's totally like, I don't know, that early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s feel where like every kid in America had to go to college. And now, the trades are really good. Kids go to tech schools, things like that. Like going to a 4-year college isn't such a big deal, I feel, anymore.
Yeah.
So
I did
go
like
ahead.
how at dinner he was like, Pocahontas never went to college. And I'm all like, wait, what? Like, your story's already not tracking here, buddy. Like, are you gonna be
Flinch at
fucking
all.
yeah, just want to be like, are you gonna fuck two white men to what bring civilization to your people? What's going on here? This is weird.
Literally, when he said Pocahontas, I was like, okay, is he gonna name off all the other Disney
Right. Yeah, yeah,
princesses too?
exactly. Yeah. Ariel never went to college. What? The mermaid? And so yeah, I as soon as you said that, I was like, I don't your story's not tracking, fucker. Like,
He was like, Albert Einstein didn't go to college. Nikola Tesla. I'm like, well, he's got a point here. And then he goes, Pocahontas did,
yeah, yeah,
Lewis and
exactly.
Clark. And I was like, wait, do we know? Did Lewis and Clark
Right.
go to college?
Yeah, yeah. Like what? Different times, fucker. Like different times. And maybe
College even a
Pocahontas,
thing?
yeah, maybe Pocahontas went to her version of college, you know? Okay.
Yeah. So now him and his 4 friends have made this fake college. They have to come up with a fake dean because his dad wants to meet the dean on
Right.
drop off day. So now they're freaking out. My favorite is Rory, the redhead there, the one girl. She teaches a learning English class and she tells all the students they have to pretend to be college students to pass. So now it looks like this is a real college campus, except for the fact that it's one building and it's very small.
Right.
So,
I do have to say, like, Lewis Black plays their dean,
oh
and I
God,
love him. I wrote it
I
down
love
in my
him
I
so
love him.
much.
He's so funny. If you ever watch his comedy bits, he is so hilarious. And like I loved it. I love how he's like, the government sucks. I'm like, preach it, Lewis Black. I love you right now.
And I
I'm
love
like,
how he's going to town in the dean meeting, and then he realizes he's losing the parents, and he
right,
wraps
yeah.
it around, and he goes with that. Well, they realize they got to go to college to get a good job to live the American dream, and the
Right.
parents are like, "Oh, that's so refreshing."
Right on. And can I just say, like, I wrote this down in my notes, and I have to be honest, it's been like a week since I watched the movie, but I wrote down, "Hey, nice tits" is a good opening line. Does that ring a bell to you?
He says, I'm really, he's going to move to Papua New Guinea when they're trying to convince him to be the dean. He's working at a Foot Locker or a shoe store like a Foot Locker, and he's telling him he's done with this bullshit of corporate chains. He's moving to Papua New Guinea off the grid where there's no sexual harassment claims. Because what kind of country is it where you can't tell someone they got nice tits?
Yeah, right on. Well, okay, now that you say that, I remember it. But I just wrote like, "Hey, nice tits." That's a good opening line. I would use that. Well, I would have used it when I was like 22 or whatnot.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's very upset that he can't say that without being slammed with a sexual harassment
Which
lawsuit.
I am on board with him. I agree with him 100%. You should be able to tell a bitch she has nice tits. Because sometimes bitches have nice tits. And you're like,
You
hey,
do.
hey, you're like, hey ladies, how you doing? Thelma, Louise, you guys partying later? You know what I'm saying?
But those are some nice tits.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
so now they have this college and the parents have dropped them off and it's the 4 of them. They're living the dream, they're playing video games, they think they are set for
Right.
the year until there's a knock on the door. And it looks like thousands of children.
It's so many people.
So many people. This building is not big enough.
Losers.
Yeah, this building is not big enough. And ADHD, I can't remember his name. It's like Andrew Douglas Abernathy or some weird shit like
I
that.
don't was it the kid with like the weird hook nose?
Yeah.
It was Abernathy, but I didn't write down his full name.
So, anyways, so all these kids come in and they realize they got to shut it down, but they don't shut it down because Barnaby has a heart and he's like, all these kids got rejected. We need to give them a place. So they start to develop an actual college after they get through things, and they realize that they have like $1 million from all these students paying their tuition.
Right. And
So
I did write down I real quick. I wrote down this is a crime. I wrote it down in big letters in all caps. I wrote it down in all caps. I'm like, this is a crime. These kids should be in jail. Like
yeah,
this is not how it works.
yeah, they are definitely, I don't know what it would be called, but they are not, this is not kosher at
Yeah,
all.
not kosher at all because it's not a blessed meat.
No.
Okay, so
So they decide they're actually going to do the college thing. They get a giant whiteboard and they
right.
interview all the kids on
I
what they
wish
want to
this is
learn.
how college
Right.
was.
This would
Like
be amazing.
I would have passed with flying colors.
Right. And they tell them to write them on the whiteboard. There's like
Right.
bumper stickers
Well, yeah,
101.
right. Like so stupid, like yoga
Yeah.
interpretation, like,
Right.
lesbian dance theory. You're like, what? What's going on here?
How to talk to the opposite sex, all
Right.
these weird things that
I
college
did.
students would say they'd want to learn.
Right. I did write down this is not how college is. I just want to and I did write down also, I'm like, this is just a bunch of blue collar workers. I mean, like you guys, like you don't have to go to just get a job, you know? You don't have to go to college. I mean, sometimes college, there needs to
It's just
be
very expensive.
yeah, and that's the thing. I'm like, listen, there's nothing wrong with being a garbage man,
No,
but these people are like,
somebody's got to do it.
right, and you get paid good, especially
Yeah,
now. But
right.
I was just like, this is insane to me that you guys are like, I was in accepted into college except for here, and I'm all like, man, your parents really hate you all. Like,
So, oh, and I should say, oh shit, what's the kid in the wiener suit and the sperm costume? What's his name?
ask me about my wiener.
Yes,
I sent that to my wife, and I was like, when you say you can't find any food in the house, that was Sherman. His name was Sherman.
Sherman. Yes,
When you can't
because it
find any
was
food, that
the sperminator or the Sherman. What is Shermanator?
yeah,
Sperminator, something
yeah.
like that. Anyways,
I know I sent her that guy. I recorded it on my phone and then I sent it to her and said, when you tell me there's no food in the house, and ask me about my wiener.
that's awesome. So he is at South Harmon University, which is like supposed to be an Ivy League, a fictional Ivy League school, whatever. But he's the smart one of the group. He's the one applying for insurance, accreditation, getting their website set up, their PO box, all that bullshit.
Yeah, and can I real quick also just I'm sorry I'm interrupting
No,
so
no, go
much, but
for
I just want to say like when they were getting all that money flowing in, like
it.
I have to be honest with you, I wrote down in my notes, I would have taken the money and moved to a country that doesn't have extradition because I was like, look at all this money, you guys. It's so
One
much.
that doesn't have extradition and where the dollar is worth so much
So much
money.
more. Yeah, and so
So
much
much
more.
more.
And
So they so South Harmon is trying to buy the land. This is the big
right.
storyline. They're trying to buy the land that the institute is on, and Hoyt Ambrose is the student in charge of procuring this property. That's not a thing. Universities have lawyers and shit to do this. They don't ask the president of the student outreach committee to do this.
Yeah, and he was a frat guy, a frat bro, which shout out to Tri Tau. Yeah, frat
Every
brothers
time
forever.
there's a
Tri Tau. Hey, anytime there's a frat in there, I will shout out to Tri Tau. Your twin brother knows. My twin brother knows what I'm talking about. Tri Tau
yes.
forever. Anyways, can I just say though, I like listen, Hoyt, was that his name Hoyt?
Mhm.
Like I'm not gonna I like
Another one that his parents hate him.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Toy. Like I don't know. But I thought that their reasoning for getting rid of this building to build an archway or an opening,
Yeah.
I thought that was so stupid. I was like, what? What are we talking about here? Like, what? That's insane. It's insane.
So so Monica is dating Hoyt until Hoyt cheats, and then she's dating Bartleby, sorry, B. They call him B for short. So anyways, my whole thing is like my favorite part of the whole movie is when Hoyt goes to South Harmon Institute of Technology, shit university, goes there to talk to the lease owner to buy it. And Barnaby is eating Glenn's wad, which is apparently this brown poo looking dessert. And when he's eating it, like that's my favorite part is he is eating it like a cow and it's all stuck in his teeth and he
It's
just keeps
gross.
saying the word wad like
Mm-hmm.
so much. And then he locks the door. And the one kid that went to the university or went to South Harmon Institute of Technology and said he wanted to learn to blow shit up with his mind. After Hoyt leaves, he tries to get into the university and the doors are locked. And he's like, is this a test? And I'm like, oh, sweetie, you're a janitor at a
Yeah,
middle school.
right. No, you're so right. That's so true. That is so true. Yeah, no, that kid that wanted to blow shit up when he finally did, and I'm putting that in quotation, I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, I can get on board for the rest of this bullshit, but that's the only thing I can't get on board with. I'm like, superpowers aren't real. We need to understand that.
I
Okay.
wish they were though.
All right, I did write down something. I don't know exactly what I meant by this because, like I said, it's been a week or so since I
Well, you
watched it.
tell me and I'll help you out.
Okay, I said the Dean uncle guy is the realest person in this movie. Was somebody an uncle
Yeah,
somewhere?
the dean was Sherman's uncle.
Oh, I was like, he's the realest motherfucker in
Oh
this
my gosh,
movie.
he orders the 12 kegs and he tells the
Yeah,
delivery guy, what took you so long? I've been building up a thirst.
yeah. He was like, I really did like that character a lot, but
Oh,
mostly because I was like, he's telling about taxes and shit. I was
oh
like,
God, yeah, there
yeah,
by like the end of the movie, he's holding like class and the lectures and he's talking about healthcare and
yeah,
and taxes and he's like, yeah, you get rich and or they tax the poor and the rich bitch about taxes, so they tax the poor. And then with healthcare, you want to go to the doctor to Dr. A, but they only cover Dr. B. You want to go on Tuesday, but they only cover Wednesday. You want to be treated for this, but they only cover that. And I'm like, oh my God, please just keep going. You're
right.
preaching, buddy. Go.
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, no, the dean I think was probably my favorite character just because he was the realist in
Oh
the
yeah,
movie.
he was definitely hysterical because so eventually they Hoyt bullies Sherman and takes his laptop, like beats him up, doesn't just bully him. The frat beats him up, takes his laptop, takes the mailing list, and they send out a letter to all the parents for a quote unquote Parents' Day, which everyone who's been to college knows there is a Parents' Day. That's a real thing where your parents come to visit, you
Right.
show them around, blah, blah, blah. And all the parents show up, and the president of South Harmon, the real South Harmon University or Harmon University, whatever it's called, tells all the parents this isn't a real college. They've been lied to. Barnaby's a fake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this whole thing, Sherman actually applied for accreditation. They get a letter and they go in front of the state education board to get accredited, which just having an accreditation meeting isn't how accreditation works. They have to
Right.
tour, there's a whole bunch of
Right.
other things. It's not just one little 10-minute meeting.
Right.
So at this meeting, the dean keeps telling them, don't worry, I got you. This is covered. Don't worry, we're going to do great. I got you. I got this whole thing. And then when they're like, state your case, he's like, all right, go for it. And he's like, wait,
Right.
what? And then he goes, well, you always lead with your star witness. And I'm like, wait, that's not how this works, buddy.
Yeah. Already your story's not tracking, fucker. Like, what? What's going on here? You just like he's just like it's like he pushed him into the ocean, was like, good luck. And like, you don't know how to swim. Here's the
There's
pool. Good
sharks
luck.
over
Yeah,
there
yeah,
in and you're in the
right.
middle of some chum. Good
Yeah.
luck.
And speaking of this little like thing, I wrote down, I can't believe they won with that shitty speech. Like I was like, this is such a shitty speech, and you won with this bullshit.
So to be accredited, they needed three things: a facility, a faculty, and a what? A
Funding?
facility? No, a facility, a
I don't
faculty,
remember.
and a curriculum, a
Yes.
facility, a faculty, and curriculum. They said they had a facility, but they didn't have any of the traditional things. No field house, no health services, none of that. I mean, I won't lie. They did have a really cool what was that, a half pipe skate ramp.
Was it
And
though? I
well, I
mean,
mean, my college didn't have one. Did yours?
no. I mean, if they did, I didn't know
Mine
about
had a
it.
better pool than theirs, though.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it had a full-on Olympic size pool because,
Hmm. Right on.
but, and then they said faculty, and they said faculty stand, and the entire student body stood. And then they said a curriculum, and they wheeled in the giant whiteboard of
Right.
stuff.
Right, which
I'm
was
like,
ridiculous. I'm like, does that say chewing gum on it? I was like, this is
right?
ridiculous. This is so
Yeah.
stupid.
So the head guy of the accreditation committee or whatever keeps writing stuff down, and he gives some little speech, and of course Barnaby does this whole thing. No, I'm not going to answer you because I know rejection. I've seen it a lot, and you can't tell me what we didn't have wasn't real because we learned and we loved it.
Right.
What we had at
Right.
shit was amazing, blah blah blah. So go ahead, stamp your forms, do what you got to do, blah.
Right.
And everyone erupts in applause, and you're just like, the whole time you're going, wait, that's it?
That's it. Yeah,
That's it?
exactly. I'm all like,
That's what's gonna win this? Are you kidding me?
if it was me, I would have stamped denied like real quick.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stamp my stamp.
So of course the board does some whispers, and they come back and they are like, we're going to give you a 1 year probationary period to prove this is a learning thing, blah blah blah. And then they're like, don't be so quick to judge us, blah blah. And you're just like, wait, what is happening right now? Nothing is making sense,
It
but I
doesn't
love
make
it all
any
at the
sense.
same time.
I'm in
And
the
at the
same boat.
same time, he ends up with Blake Lively, which,
She's
he
very
went to high
hot.
school with her for 4 years, and she didn't give him the time of day. And now all of a sudden, in less than a semester of college, now all of a sudden she's like all wanting to get up on his dick. I do have to say though, he had a clap disco ball. I did love that. I
Right on.
totally want a disco ball that works on a clapper. I would
Right
be
on.
one day we're going to be doing this podcast, and I'm going to be like, look what, and then it's going to start going.
Right
So,
on.
and he bought her a camera. Who buys a camera for someone
Yeah,
they just went to high school with? Like,
because she was in for because she was
they
all
would,
like, "Oh, I'm really into photography." I'm like, "Oh, get the fuck out of here." So is everybody else. I have an
and
iPhone.
she
It's
does that
fine.
weird thing that she's like, oh yeah, I really wanted to take this one photography class, but it's only for journalism majors. So my advisor said I can't do that. And then I wanted to take this other class, but it's only for fine arts major. And I'm like, bitch, what's your major? Because you have to take classes for your major. There's a reason
Right.
for it. They don't just do it to torture you.
Yeah, yeah. Right.
Unless it's a
That's
gen
so
ed, and those are just to torture you.
that is true. Oh my God, that's so true.
So yeah, and in the end, they get their little college and the South Harmon Institute of Technology, or shit, and the shit sandwiches with their brown
Shit
school
sandwich.
colors. I
Oh
love
my
that
God.
brown is their school color.
Right.
They get to have it, and in the next school year, Glenn is running a 5-star kosher kitchen. Rory is running nature walks and helping everyone meditate and center themselves and find who they are. What was the football player's name?
I don't remember.
He's giving tours of the campus and making giant African fertility sculptures
Yeah,
in
just big
wood. It
dicks.
just means they're giant dicks. It's really all he's making. And Barnaby and Monica are rooming right next to each other. And he is the president of a college. He has nothing more than a high school degree and is nothing more than technically a little con artist.
Right. That's
But
so true.
But I love this movie. I'm not gonna lie. It makes me so happy. There's so much in it that's funny. It just is ridiculous. It makes me happy. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I went in on this movie because I had never seen it, and then by the end of it, I was like, this is pure ridiculousness, but I actually did enjoy myself while watching it. So I didn't hate it. So that's always a good sign.
And at the very end, the kid who wants to learn to blow up shit blows up the president of
Right.
Harmon College's car.
Yes, which is, vandalism.
That's the
It's
most
just-
baloney thing of the whole
Yeah,
movie. Where
that's
you're
so
just like,
stupid.
I'm all here for it up until that, and then you're just like, oh well, now you just jumped the shark. It's too
Yeah,
much.
it's a good thing it was
Much.
at the end because I was like, oh,
Yes.
this is stupid.
Yeah, no, it's a fun movie. I love it. And this lava flow was delicious. I mean, Glenn does have a way with foods, flavors, whatever. I did love when he got fired from the convenience store for wanting to make a shrimp slushy. I was like, that's disgusting.
Ew. Yeah, I
That's
remember now. That is
disgusting.
disgusting.
Because he was thirsty and hungry.
Right
And I was like,
on.
oh, sweetie, there's a reason you got a 0 on
Right.
your SAT.
Right. It's so funny.
So what did you think about, or is there anything you wanted to touch on? Because I did breeze through this real fast.
No,
I'm
it was
sorry. It
I
happens,
did
when I drink,
I know I
it's
get the same
it's
way,
like
yeah.
giving me espresso.
Right on. No, I just want to say that I did enjoy the movie. I thought I wouldn't because I watched the trailer and I was like, this looks ridiculous.
I thought we had a discussion. You're not supposed to watch trailers.
Well, I didn't listen. Anyways, but I didn't I was just like at the end of it, I watched it and I didn't hate it. So it's always a
Yeah.
plus.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I would totally recommend it. Would you recommend it?
I would recommend it. Yeah, I would
Oh,
recommend it.
for sure. And if you're looking to make a drinking game out of it, I mean, you could do something like every time Sherman does something stupid in the frat, take a shot.
Yeah.
Or every time Glenn makes something food wise. I mean, at
Frat
one
guys
point
don't do
he's
anything
hooking up with
stupid.
3 girls. Glenn is not the hook up with 3 girls type of guy,
Right
but
on.
it's funny. Yeah. So do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I would recommend this movie. If somebody asked me like a fun movie, I would recommend it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Movie, or sorry, follow us on Twitter at BS Drunk Pod to stay updated and to hear fun facts about the movie that we have just watched. If you are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review. We would really appreciate it. It helps us out a ton. We will also be posting this to our YouTube channel, so you can check that out there. And don't forget to subscribe and like, and shoot us a short little message. Just say hi, or even toss in a movie recommendation down there. We'd love to hear from you. Also, we have started a Patreon. We have plenty of levels for everyone. If you're interested, the links in the description below, but we do the same thing, but usually we're a little bit drunker, and we do franchises. So we've done Sex and the City, Jurassic Park, Scream, the Bring It On, and let me tell you, you will be happy. We are saving you hours of your lives by listening to us for that. And you can also make recommendations for franchises for us to do. But guys, most of all, don't forget to drink, recap, review, and repeat. Bye, guys.
Bye, you guys.